We welcome you down to Kevin Clark Field here in Austin, Texas on this lovely Friday night where the Texas Longhorns lacrosse team set to face off against the Auburn Tigers. Longhorns 1-0 on the season. Auburn Tigers are 3-0, and we welcome you down into our studio. I'm Thomas Fitch, joined alongside Clark Dalton, going to be offering some analysis on the game. So let's get started talking about this game. And you know, like we mentioned, Horns started off the season with the win last week, 21-8 over North Texas, and they were led by Nick McCall, the transfer from Washington. The league had 9 goals in that game. So what are the Longhorns going to look to do this week to carry that momentum?
Well, one thing you'll notice right off the bat is that Texas is running a different offense. Instead of substituting on the fly with the midfielders, they're going to have them run the whole game. So what they need to do is maintain a consistent pace. Not too fast, not too slow. If they do that, they should have a stable offense throughout.
Yeah, and the stable offense is what they'll be looking for. Let's look at the Auburn Tigers, who are 3-0 so far on the season, winning those 3 games by an average margin of 9 goals. We know they're a balanced team, but they're really dangerous offensively. So what can Texas do in this game to slow down them?
What Texas needs to do on the defensive side of the game is they have to play with an edge. What I mean by that is they need to get up in their grill and get to the point where Auburn can't pass the ball easily, because when Auburn is passing the ball, that's when they get those open goal opportunities.
Yeah, we talk about Auburn's good record and 3-0 on the season. So how big would a win for Texas be in this game?
This would be huge for Texas. It would indicate that they're much better than they were last season, because this is a good Auburn team, but this is their first test. And if Texas can come out here and play with some swagger, it could be a great season for this team.
Yeah, and you talk about how this is going to be a test for the Auburn Tigers. This is their first true road game on the road. We talked to Coach JJ Armino before the game, and he talked about how they've been on the bus all night. So how do you think that the fact that it is their first road game and their first true test, how is that gonna be a factor for the Tigers?
I wouldn't necessarily say that Auburn is going to struggle, but they won't be as sharp. I'm not looking for them to play at the same speed since their legs aren't as fresh. So that means they're going to have to sub a little bit, and they won't be able to play with the same consistent core.
Yeah, and last game, Texas had 8 different players that scored. Obviously, Nick McCall led with the 9 goals, but 7 other players other than McCall scored in that game. Are they going to continue to try to rely on that team style of play in this game?
You have to. You can't rely on McCall to bail you out all the time. Texas has to play together. That's the reason they won 21-8. It's not only the fact that McCall had 9 goals, but you had other people contributing as well. And that can be pertinent in a late game situation where you need to go quickly and maybe McCall hasn't played well and somebody steps up.
Yeah, that team play will be something that they're really going to be looking for, especially trying to have that depth down the road. And we're going to send it to a break. When we come back, we'll have our sideline analyst, Bailey Wald, who will be talking with both the coaches.
Good evening and welcome in to College Crossfire. I'm your host, Mark Skoll Jr. Glad to have you on your Wednesday. And Mark Skoll can piss off the Cammy. I don't like the Cammy. Wait, you don't like the Cammy?
All right, let me explain why Aaron Judge is getting it. You can boo me all you want.
Arya just lost his point, tried to get points from the crowd, but they're not the one giving points.
Listen here, brother, 9 p.m. Wednesday nights, I'm coming for you.
We're sons of an illustrious father, and this is Austin Underground.
Uh-huh.
What is Boom in the Shot?
It's a show.
It's a lot of hard work.
A boom in the shot is where this person called a boom operator, and they are incompetent.
We only have like 6 people working on the show, so what's the deal with that? Like, if you're out there, we need people to help volunteer.
I can't breathe.
Hold on.
It's a show. You're a fan of this show.
Hold everything, knaves! Hey, buddy, how's it going?
You're not my dad!
We can't keep losing PAs. The ones that dig themselves out quit.
All of the best writing happens in the bathroom.
Even mustard gas didn't hurt this much.
What even is this?
It's down to film, douche.
Right, well, it sucks.
Hi, I'm Guillermo and I'm watching TSTV. Don't forget to watch TSTV. Yeah!
At the Kevin Clark Field in Austin, Texas, Texas Longhorns lacrosse team set to take on the Auburn Tigers. Again, I'm your host, Thomas Fitch, joined by our lacrosse analyst, Clark Dalton, and we'll be getting interviews from Bailey in a little bit, but before that, let's talk about some X factors for both teams in this game.
I think the X factor is for Auburn is how do they deal with the road environment, because it's like JJ Armino has talked about, is the fact that they haven't been tested, and now you're going to Austin, which is a couple hours away from Alabama, and how do you deal with that? For Texas, I think it's just getting everybody involved early, not relying on the call too much, and making sure that everyone's playing with that synergy that they had last week against North Texas.
Yeah, and getting off to that good start will be important, but now we're going to go ahead and send it over to Bailey Wald, who's standing by with Texas head coach Seth Bachmeier.
Bachmeier, Nick McCall had 9 scores last, 7 other players scoring, and how have you made this such a team-oriented game?
This year, and that's been our focus all year, is just working as a team, as a unit, and no individuals, and just being a team all the time. And so that's been our focus from August 31st when we had our first meeting.
And Auburn is 3-0 so far this season, so how did you specifically prepare for this game against them?
Yeah, we were able to watch our game with LSU that was streamed and look at stats, but they're a good ball club. We're excited for the matchup tonight.
There are some rule changes this season with the shot clock, so how have those changed the way that the game has been played so far?
Game, we've got to go a lot faster. We used to be really, really slow in clears. Now we go have around 60 seconds to shoot it, and so in the past we used to see 3 and 4 minute possessions. Now it's 60 seconds before the shot.
All right, well, thank you so much, Coach. Let's head back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bailey, we apologize for the audio technical difficulties, and Clark, let's get back into our analysis. As we get closer to the action, who are the players to watch on either side in this game?
For Texas, it's going to be John McCall. He scored 9 goals last week, and he's the transfer. He's that star player they rely upon. For Auburn, it's Jacob Salazar. He's improved tremendously this season. He's responsible for 7 points per game right now.
Well, thanks, Clark, and we'll be right back after this. When we come back, stick around. Bailey will be interviewing Auburn head coach JJ Armino, and we'll get you set down for the start of the game. Stick around.
Welcome into College Press Box, the most comprehensive sports show on the 40 acres.
The 2018 Orange-White Spring Game revealed key players in the offense.
If she plays really well, Texas really has a great shot.
They need to go deep in these games and really prove themselves.
The women added a trophy to their shelf, winning the title with 117 points.
If Cleveland goes quarterback at 1, which I agree with Sean, I think they do. I think the Giants are crazy if they do not draft Saquon Barkley.
All this and more on College Press Box.
Have you ever wondered what the future holds?
Hi, I'm fake news anchor and real-life boat anchor, Austin Zessen.
You need to know the news before anyone else.
I've survived 3 plane crashes.
Do you know how to keep your wife and children safe?
We're back with more bad news for Speedway, as next week the replacement brakes will be found to be capable of feeling pain.
Do you like news that hits hard? Like my dad?
Hello and welcome to Next Week Now.
Hi, I'm Edward, and this is Jimmy Kimmel. And Jimmy Kimmel, do you love Texas Student Television?
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Texas Student Television?
Bad people don't like Texas Student Television. So
Hitler probably was against Texas Student Television.
Yeah, he had many bad ideas, and one of them was not liking Texas Student TV. So should people watch Texas Student TV?
Yes, people should watch. People should watch a lot of television in general, but particularly Texas Student.
And also Jimmy Kimmel.
Thanks.
You back into our pregame studio one last time here at Kevin Clark Field in Austin, and really is a great Friday night for some lacrosse action between the Texas Longhorns and the Auburn Tigers one last time. I'm your host, Thomas Fitch, joined by Clark Dalton. We'll be sending it over to Bailey in just a second, but first, Clark, give us some predictions for this game.
Ooh, it's going to be a tough one tonight, but I'm not expecting a dominant performance from Texas right now because they have only played one game. However, I'm not sure this Auburn team is quite ready for a road victory yet. I'm going to go with Texas, 9-8.
9-8. Clark goes with Texas, 9-8. And I think that the Auburn playing on the road will be a true test. But let's go ahead and send it over to Bailey Wald, standing by with Auburn head coach J.J. Armino.
J.J. Arminio, so you are 3-0 so far this season, but all of your games have been home games. How did you prepare for your first game on the road?
Well, we loaded up the bus last night at 9:30 and said good night and rolled in about 11 a.m. this morning. The boys have put in the work. They're ready to go. They're excited.
And we know this is a very young team, so who are some key players to look out for tonight?
From the midfield, you want to watch 23, Lloyd Delatorre. He was a D1 commit and decided to come to Auburn. And at attack, all three of our attackmen, that's where the offense is going to come from.
And there are some rule changes this season with the shot clock, so how has that changed? How you have been playing the game so far?
It hasn't changed us a lot, actually. We like to play fast, up and down, run transitions, so it's actually kind of helped our game in essence.
Great, thank you so much, and good luck tonight. We're back to Thomas and Clark.
Well, thanks, Bailey, and we'll wrap up. That's all we have here for our pregame, but stick around because coming up, Steve Helwick, Robert Trevino on the call. We'll see y'all back here at halftime.
Welcome in the College Press Box, the most comprehensive sports show on the 40 acres.
The 2018 Orange-White Spring Game revealed key players in the offense.
If she plays really well, Texas really has a great shot.
They need to go deep in these games and really prove themselves.
The women added a trophy to their shelf, winning the title with 117 points.
If Cleveland goes quarterback at 1, which I agree with Sean, I think they do. I think the Giants are crazy if they do not draft Saquon Barkley.
All this and more on College Press Box.
Campus is one of the first sexual assault prevention organizations to really infiltrate.
She come to my van with me.
Y'all have heard about the man who loved fajitas a little bit too much.
And I'll say back off.
Yes.
Me. No, back off.
Oh.
Really don't see a lot of black superheroes like that.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talks.
Good evening and welcome back to KVR News.
Good morning, Texas. It's Wednesday, March 7th.
Now let me tell you, when I'm feeling sad, the only thing that turns my day around is a good laugh. So something that is free and accessible, especially if you were a fan of cable, is a lot of TV with a local spin that's sure to give you a big old grin. So if you want to see something funny, I'm gonna let you know about this thing on TV called The Comedy Show. It's called That's Awesome. Don't forget the period and check out our new content because it's a myriad of pretty funny sketches that are bound to make you smile. So if you run out of days on your Netflix trial, you should sit down. Come watch us for a while. We make funnies just to get loads of yucks, and if you don't like it, well, we don't give two.
Hi there, I'm John Cozart from Internet. Now, you're watching Texas Student Television. You need to make sure to like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter, and subscribe to their YouTube channel for more TSTV goodness. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to go buy a small boat.
Welcome to Austin, Texas. We are at the Haven Lacrosse Center at Clark Field as the Auburn Tigers 3-0 are taking on the Texas Longhorns 1-0 tonight. What do you see in tonight's matchup, Robert?
Well, first off, in lacrosse, you got to win the face-offs. Texas right here, as we get set to go, is going to have to win those face-offs. You got to look at the goalie play more importantly, too, as we get started.
The ball is dropped. Texas looks to gain control early, but Auburn intercepts it, and Texas is going down the field trying to attack. Number 4, Jacob Larambide, has the ball. Texas trying to establish some semblance of an offense right here.
Yeah, that new rule implemented an 80-second shot clock. They have 20 to get it across into the front end of the field, then the remainder of the time to shoot.
Number 22, John King, trying to set up a play, command the offense from up top. Getting a rhythm. Looks like almost a shot attempt. Doesn't really fall near the goal. We have Micah Kane in the net for Auburn tonight. Micah Kane, so far this season, he's had 10 goals against, and his save percentage is 64.3%, which is pretty good. Auburn will look to him to establish a defensive presence tonight as Texas goes back in Auburn territory.
Meanwhile, on Texas's end, they have Mike Cerna, the junior out of Clear Lake.
It looks like we already have a goal. John King gets it in from the right side, down low. Texas with a 1-0 lead early with 13:47 left in the first period.
And who else but John King, the captain, senior from Sykesville, Maryland, opening it up for the Longhorns early on.
John King last year had 19 goals, 11 assists. He was second on the team in scoring. And this year he's a veteran presence as a senior, one of the team's captains. Texas will rely on him all game. Texas looking to gain some momentum. We haven't even seen the ball cross into the other territory so far.
No, pretty clear domination on the offensive end from Texas to start.
Auburn's a team that has won 3 games, all by definitive margins, all by 8 points or more, but they have yet to be tested on the road. A lot of the travel and all that schedule might take a toll on the team as they come here this Friday night. Texas passing the ball. Right now they're behind the crease. The wraparound isn't there as Auburn defends that really well.
Some great stick check work there.
Passes it to number 27, Andrew Bull. Down to the left side. Nothing there. Back to King. King jukes out the Auburn defender. Won't give it up. Finds a man and is stolen out of Brandon Metry's hands. For the first time, it is crossed into Texas territory. But Auburn cannot capitalize.
Miscatch there. And Sam Hovius, freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky. We're getting a sub in. Next possession.
It was Austin Cotree with the pass there. I usually expect him to get those. He's one of Auburn's best offensive weapons, but the communication just wasn't there as Texas gets back in, trying to build off their 1-0 lead. Looks like Auburn's playing better man defense right now. Be interesting to see if they run into a zone later if the man doesn't work out for them.
It's all about defining the matchups early on in the match. You want to see how you're going to fare 1v1, especially with Auburn running man.
Looks like an over-the-shoulder reverse shot there. Goes out of bounds from Andrew Brown. Andrew Brown had 3 goals in Texas's 21-8 win against North Texas and has already established himself as one of the premier players for his team this year. Texas looking to get some action behind the net. Auburn takes over.
Mike Cerna with a good defensive play there. Gonna throw in some subs as we win the midfield.
Auburn trying to establish a response. So far this year, they've scored at least 15 goals in all of their games, averaging 16 per game. And they have their first one right there. Mike Bush with the goal near the crease.
Excellent way to respond after being down 1-0 and kind of looking a little lost in the opening minutes, but they were able to calm themselves back down. Tie game, and about 4 minutes in, back where we started, face-off, 1-1.
Once Auburn managed to get inside Texas territory, things seemed to work out for them. So for Texas, it's going to be about keeping the possession, which they're going to try to do here.
And Texas with another face-off victory, unfortunately unable to get anything going there. And Captain John King back into the game for the Longhorns.
King with the ball, passes it to Metry. Metry trying to get a fake, gets checked.
Yeah, Auburn's a pretty physical team. They're going to check you all game. You got to work for it, and a great pass there.
Texas scores a goal during an Auburn substitution. It's already 2-1 quite early in. Auburn's given up a lot of goals compared to some of their past games.
That's Andrew Bull, number 27, taking advantage of that opportunity.
Auburn gave up 8 against LSU, 6 against East Carolina, 7 against South Florida, but they already have given up 2 in less than 5 minutes of game time. Texas's offense is clearly something they haven't seen yet. And Texas scored 21 goals last game against North Texas, higher than any number Auburn scored in their first 3 matches.
Well, of course, like you said, Texas's offense is pretty high-powered. It's a testament to their skill to have already scored 2 at this point. Auburn's got to find a way to make it work as they win their first face-off of the night.
Trey Robinson came on with steam after winning that face-off, and he's going to check out right now in favor of Lloyd Delator. Delator with the ball. Passes it over to Coleman Reagan, the captain. Reagan has an open field of space ahead of him. Dumps it off to Mike Bush. Bush behind the net. Back to Cole Scott. Delator. Auburn doing a lot of ball movement here. Good ball movement on this possession. Trying to get close. The goalie, Mike Cerna, has it right now. Trying to make a decision. Auburn has a lot of good defense. Down. Good pickup there by Texas. And they get the assist. It's Andrew Brown on the goal. His 4th of the season.
Texas is just moving quicker in transition than Auburn right now. It's 2 goals in the last couple of minutes that have just come off of quick substitution errors, not getting in quick enough.
This is going to be a high-scoring one tonight. What do you foresee when it's all said and done on the scoreboard?
Well, when you see it, I think it's going to be a definite high-scoring game. Both teams obviously coming in with high-powered offenses. They both play really physically, and that's going to lead to a lot of substitutions. We're going to see a lot more checking in, checking out, as we have. We've already seen a lot of subs. And you're going to need to see Auburn have to keep pace with Texas, and I think they will.
Speaking of substitutions, it looks like something Auburn's implemented a lot more than Texas so far. As Texas stars King and Brown have played most of the game so far, while Auburn's having more of a rotation, trying to rely on their depth here. We see Delator check in for Cena right now. Trey Wood gets it to Delator. Delator back to Reagan. Reagan cradling. Turns it over And Texas has an open field ahead of them. Matthew Meadows on the midfielders. Oh, there is a goal right there. That one was fired at a high speed. Once again, it is Andrew Brown. That one went probably at a high miles an hour.
Yeah, Andrew Brown's first goal was really off of an assist, but that one right there was all Mr. Brown as he tossed that one right in the back of the net. Great shot.
And we see how costly turnovers can be, especially around the midfield area, as Texas had numbers on that possession over the Auburn midfielders. They were able to get it to the attackers, and Brown did the rest. Face off here.
Texas dominating the face-offs tonight.
But Auburn gets that one. Zach Brooklery has the ball for Auburn. Goes behind the net. Back to Austin Corey. Great pass right there from Logan Barber to get it into Trey Wood. Wood has kind of an over-the-shoulder shot. Just fires right past Mike Cerna, and Auburn already has their second goal of the night, 4-2. Still 8 minutes left in the first.
Not much you can do there. That shot was just fired nice and hard. Cerna, not much of a chance to get to that one.
That's exactly the ball movement Auburn's been looking for all game.
Auburn hasn't got the ball much, but when they do, they make quick work of that Texas defense.
Still, Texas has a greater time of possession in the Auburn territory than vice versa, and that's something that's really impacting the game so far. Texas is there once again as John King gets the ball at the top of the key. You want the ball in your player's best hands as he tries to make something happen. Fires a shot. It looks like it's off the foot of Micah Kane. It's a good stop by Auburn because King can be deadly with that ball.
Go, D.
Tough checks from Auburn on this possession.
Go, D. Come on.
Play with a lot of physicality.
King fires it to Metry.
Yeah, Ben.
Texas trying to make something happen inside. Auburn has all their guys crash on defense. They get the ball, and the ref calls a penalty. First penalty of the game is assessed to Texas. A legal check right there as Auburn trying to get the ball. Texas is double teaming back on defense. Good check right there. And it's a 50-50 ball. And Auburn comes up with it.
Nice hustle from Auburn there. They were a little hassled in the midfield, but they were finally able to pick it up and corral it in, control, and now they're able to set up right here as Texas starts to bring in more defensive subs.
Austin Corey, the team's leading scorer this year with 21 points, running the offense. Gets the ball into Aiden Stopperich. Back to Corey. Stone Bridges. Get it behind the net. Auburn seems to rely more on the passing as Texas likes to go inside and get it to their stars. Good ball movement here by Auburn. Good juke.
Excellent defense right there, able to work them back out. Shot clock running low, under 10 now.
Auburn's going to have to get something. Stopperich with 3 seconds left just flings it. And that's going to be the first shot clock violation of the night.
And you got to wonder that new rule implementation, as the league tries to keep up with the NCAA rules, how that affects playing the game. And you see that right there.
Definitely have to go at a faster pace. That's something that Texas has established early. Their pace is incredible. They're not as patient as Auburn. They're not trying to get the ball around as quickly. they look for shots, and that's something that they're probably going to put up in just a few seconds from now. John Pincus with the ball for Texas. Goes around the left end, lateral to the goal. Looking for a wraparound opportunity, not there. Andrew Brown.
Some good checks. Brown's got to look for someone else, finally, to get it out to him.
Cole Scott with great defense on Andrew Brown there. Brown's already had 2 goals tonight. Scott doing his best to prevent a third.
Oh.
Stoppage, another call in favor of Auburn. Texas is getting really physical down when they're shooting by the goal, but resulting in penalties.
Oh, a turnover, and Auburn's going to have to do a quick substitution.
Connor Bailey checks into the game for the Longhorns. Last season, Bailey had 7 points in 11 games, and he's looking to make the most of his senior season as he's in his 2nd game this year with Texas. Bailey with a good spin move, but it's intercepted. Turnover going to Auburn's number 41, Ben Elrich.
Excellent defense there from Auburn. See how they push it up into the front court here.
Deepest pass of the night isn't quite complete as it goes out of bounds, and Texas will take over. Attempt was there, and it was nearly caught.
Let's go, boys. Come on,
Just fell a little short.
Let's go, dude.
Texas on the last couple of possessions hasn't been moving as fast as they were early on in the game when they were starting to get something going.
Nearly a turnover right there for Texas. Looks like Auburn lost the ball, and it will return to the Longhorns.
Ball just slipped through both teams' nets.
Thought Trey Wood might have caught the turnover right there, but went out of bounds. And now Andrew Wickersham's trying to run the offense from the top. Texas in a 3-2-1 offensive scheme right now.
Oh, nice check.
And Wickersham gets the goal. Texas now 5-2 over Auburn as Wickersham just goes straight down the middle and gets it to the right of Micah Kane.
Yeah, that's some great fundamentals right there. Taking the check, taking 2 checks, and just continuing with the play. Excellent work from the senior out of San Antonio.
Who would you give the edge so far in the physicality battle?
Well, I'd actually give the physicality right now out there to Auburn. Texas has been moving really quick and a little physical on defense, but as far as whenever Texas has the ball, Auburn's really checking them, really making them earn everything. However, haven't been able to do much on the offensive end.
Texas gets a little excited on the face-off, and Auburn will take over, but a shot fired by Trey Robinson falls a little long and out of control. Auburn gets the ball back. Delator to Reagan. Reagan passes it to Trey Wood. Wood gets it back. Auburn looking to set up a shot. There's still 50 seconds left on the shot clock, so there's plenty of time. Trying to move the ball around. Auburn finally shifting positions on the field.
Texas moving into this zone. It's working pretty well. Auburn had a cut right there, weren't able to execute.
That zone's going to be favorable when you're not making passes outside of adjacent players, which is what Auburn just seems to be doing right now, just passing in a circle. And a flag is thrown by the referee. What a stop right there. Mike Cerna gets the ball right by his ankles, picks it up before it rolls into the goal. Auburn's going to get the ball after the penalty.
Auburn will have the extra man for 30 seconds.
That's the one thing Texas hasn't been able to get the advantage on tonight is the penalties. Once again, a penalty calls in favor of the Tigers. Auburn's going to get good opportunity here at a third goal.
Auburn with a great chance right here, especially being down 3 to get back in this one before the end of the first quarter. See if they can capitalize.
You have 30 seconds with the extra man. You're not really looking to make those extra passes. You have to be aggressive with the shots, and that's what I'm guessing that the Tigers have to know to do here.
Waiting on the clock to be corrected. Too much time ran off. Auburn noticed, and now we're adding some more time back on. We're gonna add 12 more seconds, and we're ready to roll.
Let's go home. Get one here, boys. Come on. I've got it. I'll count him. You count it? Yep. Okay, I'll count him 4 after.
Referee's trying to hash things out with the scoreboard operator. There's no instant replay out here. Auburn gets it inbounds. Delator. Delator trying to make things happen. Gets it down to Trey Wood. Wood backs off of his man. Point blank range and Auburn misses. Good stop by the Texas defense and Mike Cerna.
And the penalty's over. Texas back to full strength.
Man, Auburn has to be kicking themselves after missing that opportunity right there to come back in, make it a 2-goal game. And now Texas is in business on the other end.
Good check, Bryce.
Ryan Hills had the ball for nearly the entire possession.
And Auburn gets it back. 40 seconds left. Auburn will probably look to make this the last possession of the quarter.
Should only be about one more shot on goal left in the period. Auburn now with under 30 seconds to operate. The shot clock is off. Texas has one more opportunity.
That was a nice spin move, but just wasn't able to get the shot into a corner. Went right to the goalie.
Texas's coach, Bachmeyer, is pushing them to get a goal, and there's only 10 seconds left.
They got to get a shot off here.
Tensions are high, and Auburn gets it, and they're going to run out of time. As we end the first period, Texas Longhorns lead the Auburn Tigers 5-2 in a battle of undefeated teams, non-conference play.
Well, you got to wonder for Auburn. They had that chance with a minute and a half left with the 30-second technical that was called on Texas, so they were an extra man up. Weren't able to get the deficit back down to 2. And as you said before, they haven't been allowing a lot of goals in games. I believe the highest they allowed wasn't it 8 or 9? So to just let 5 go right through your fingers in the first quarter, it's got to be a little demoralizing coming on the road. But, you know, they're right within 3. They can definitely pick this one back up.
Texas is on pace to do what they did in North Texas. That was a 21-8 win. Looking at 20-8, although on pace never actually happens. No. Texas just came out early and really established an offense. Andrew Brown so far has been the front runner for player of the game with 2 goals. He's just doing everything. He's attacking, he's being aggressive, and it's paid off for Texas.
Absolutely, and if it's not Andrew, then you're definitely looking at the captain, John King, out there. Definitely been a leader, getting the plays set up at the top of the key to start. Texas really pushing the tempo early. They kind of lost their way with some long possessions, some sloppy possessions as they got going and as Auburn kind of found their rhythm. Whenever Auburn finally woke up a good 6-7 minutes in, it was pretty even from there, so you got to wonder if Auburn can get a couple good runs in. It'll be right back to tied. I think we got a good match on our hands. If Auburn can get 1 or 2 good, solid runs going. Looks like we're close to getting started back here for the second quarter.
Auburn warming up. Could there be a possible change in the net as Christopher J is there? But no, Micah Kane will return to the net for Auburn. Time to switch sides. Adjustments have been made. Let's see if any of them pay off.
Texas kind of also dominating the face-off game early. Let's see if Auburn's able to make any more adjustments out there.
This is going to be Christian DeAngelis for the Longhorns in at the face-off. Scoops it up high. And it's claimed by Larumbide. Larumbide attacking with speed. To Riley Derby. Back up to King.
King once again gonna let the subs come in, get stuff set at the top of the key. Definite person that you can see drive it, so if you're Auburn, you can't just let him wait for him to pass here.
When John King has a ball in his hands, it feels like a guy like James Harden or Kobe Bryant. As you see, he just sets up the play, sets up his team for success.
That's Andrew Bowl.
And Bowl with the goal. Texas now tripling Auburn's score, up 6-2. Once again, King runs the offense, finds a man, and Bowl just finishes it off.
That was a simple play right there, only one pass needed. Just right there, King to Bowl, one-on-one action, and the Horns now up by 4.
You have to wonder if Auburn's going to go to more Texas's strategy of being aggressive for the goals and not waiting so long to try to find that pass.
We'll see here, they got the possession really quick. Subs coming in.
Good run, Sam, good run. Good job.
Auburn waiting for things to set up, showing patience to try to find the best shot possible.
Once again, taking their time in the possession.
They're in a 2-2-2 right now. Gets behind the net. Texas's defense forming a wall just around the goal.
Ooh, a creative shot. Wow. What a goal there.
The Texas players didn't even realize the ball went in the net.
Well, the refs didn't notice for a while.
Kind of just slipped in there. But the referees are waving off the goal.
No, that one's going to count. There was a little interference from Texas, I believe, but it still went in.
They've decided not to wave off the goal after some talks about it. And Texas now leads Auburn 6-3 with 13:38 left in the second.
That was number 29, Austin Curry, if I believe, the sophomore out of Birchmanville.
DeAngelis on the face-off. See if he can win another one. This one is won by the Tigers. Zach Brooklery.
Nice move from the captain Brooklery right there. The presence of mind to scoop up the ball after the face-off.
Stone Bridges is taking over. It goes back to Logan Barber. Auburn looking for consecutive goals, something they've been unable to get so far. Get on one of those 2-0 runs, and they do it right there. Stone Bridges gets it in the corner of the net.
Well, that was a great shot, moving left to right on the run, hitting that right corner. Cerna didn't have a chance on that one. Great placement right there, and Auburn's right back in it. They're getting a little run going. Now just down 2.
All the momentum seems to be on the War Eagle side right now as Auburn. It's 2 consecutive goals to start the second. We're just barely 2 minutes in so far.
Well, Auburn, those adjustments they made in between quarters certainly working out here. And as I said, in between, they only need 1 or 2 more runs to be right back in it. And here they are.
Texas wins a much-needed face-off, but the ball is going to go out of bounds. Saves it last second. And they get it to Kane. Auburn's going to have numbers. The Texas midfielders get back.
Well, Cheney's back in for Texas, something we haven't really seen a ton with him on defense. Probably want a veteran presence out there to make sure Auburn doesn't make this closer than 2. Big possession right here.
Let's go!
Delator setting up the offense. Gets it to Reagan. Reagan, the senior captain, passes it outside.
When they make those quick drives, it's been working for him. Behind the net, not so much. We'll see what they can dial up right here.
Trey Wood. Back to Barber. Barber trying to get physical with it. Flies just left of the net. Good attempt for a shot on there. Another 80 seconds for the Tigers.
Let's go, Luke! Get aggressive.
Powerful check right there.
Luke Milliman gets it down to Reagan.
Let's go!
Auburn behind the net again. They seem to like to go there a little more than Texas does. Milliman back to Reagan. Reagan to Delator. Delator trying to box him out like a basketball player.
Maybe try the spin move behind the back.
Hey, good look! Hey, good look, Lloyd!
Fancy shot there. Lloyd Delator tries to go behind the back. Goes a little wide of the net, but the attempt was there.
Auburn keeps possession. Let's see what they can set up right here. Maybe go back to Delator.
Is Texas finally going to take possession?
There's a whistle here.
Another 80 seconds for Auburn. This is their 4th straight opportunity on this possession. Keeping the ball out of Texas's hands, and that has really helped. Good stop right there by Cerna. Catches the ground ball. Cerna leaving the crease. Getting far out of the crease. He's approaching midfield right now. Can't have a turnover here.
Texas having some big trouble on that possession, even getting the ball just corralled in to set up something. And Auburn now with another chance to get it within 1.
Auburn's first quarter adjustments seem to be paying off, but
turnover.
The turnover affects it right there, and Auburn gives up a goal, now down 7-4. Their 2-0 run has come to an end. That turnover, once again, has been killer.
Nick McCall had the presence of mind to grab it real quick and increase the Texas lead to 3, just over 10 minutes here in the second quarter.
You talk about Nick McCall, he's a sophomore, but he's already playing like the team's best player. He had 9 goals. 9 goals in his first game against North Texas. That's 3 hat tricks. That's just unreal.
We're talking 9 goals. That's some players' output for an entire year. Had that in 60 minutes. And another one right there. Another big face-off. Auburn with it this time, though.
In fact, only 5 Texas players last year had more than 9 goals. So McCall is already quite ahead of schedule. Look, got his first one in tonight. A lot of physical play on this possession around the net. Texas takes over at midfield. Auburn tries with a check, but it's unsuccessful. And Nick McCall takes over again. Lots of running with the ball, less passing on this possession. Good spin move right there.
He was looking for a slasher, couldn't find him, and now Auburn's going to make the quick transition.
DeAngelis trying to get the check there.
See how Auburn is making the adjustments for the offense. It was working at the beginning of the quarter. Now, kind of receiving those first opening minutes, they're just not being able to get anything going. They've had a few possession tries. It's not really working out. They need to speed it up.
Some underclassmen, Aiden Stopprich and Stone Bridges, trying to run the possession. And Stone Bridges!
They speed it up right there, and of course you go back to Bridges. He's having a huge night for the Tigers. back within 2 now. Despite that turnover goal, you take that one away, it's a one-score game. Auburn's right back in it. Haven't really been gone, even though they were down 4 at one point. 7-5 with 9 minutes left.
Bridges delivers on the assist from Stopperich. 7-5, that is Stonebridge's second goal of the night. Once again, we have a 2-score game. Still 9 minutes of daylight left before halftime. Another call going against the Longhorns. A little undisciplined play tonight for them.
Especially in the face-off right there. You can't have that.
They're being aggressive, but sometimes too aggressive.
Auburn, another chance to get it back within 1. This would be huge.
For Auburn, the rest of the game is just establishing an offensive presence. They've already given up about as many goals as they've given up all year. They just need to score more, and that's what's been working this period, is they have a 3-1 advantage.
Yeah, they've been dominating the possession as well. Texas kind of took it over in the opening minutes of the first quarter, kind of evened out, and now Auburn with the ball a lot more. Massive check.
Comes in like a monster truck rally right there. Just takes him down.
That was a bulldoze. Now they have to separate the players.
Was that a block or a charge?
Well, I don't think he had his feet set. It's going to stay Auburn ball. Good communication from the referee to coach right there. Making sure he had everybody he needed. Auburn ball.
Coaching matchup between Seth Bachmeyer and J.J. Arminio, the two coaches. Two veteran lacrosse programs, Texas established in 1973, Auburn in 1981. But they don't meet too often, and this is their first meeting of the 2019 season.
Cerno with the quick presence of mind to pick it up. Turns it immediately over. No, it was tipped.
Stopperich. The ref fires a flag out.
Looks like Auburn's going to be playing extra man here.
For Auburn, Michael Morris, the freshman attacker, checks into the game. Comes from Duluth, Georgia.
That'll be 24. Ryan Thompson, the freshman from Southlake. And that's 2 minutes.
Mentioned Michael Morris. Auburn has a good Georgia presence on their roster. Lots of guys on the team hail from the Peach State. For Texas, a lot of their guys are from Texas. They have a couple from Illinois, New York on their team.
Look
You
at that
see
Baltimore
Lacrosse.
presence from Brian Applefield off of Texas.
See lacrosse starting to stretch across the globe in the U.S. as players are coming from California, New York, all areas, as Auburn misses a shot, but will retain possession. 68 seconds left on the shot clock for Auburn, trying to get it within 1 goal for the first time since it's 2-1.
Well, this is their best chance this quarter.
Good block right there by Cerna. Morris' shot hits him. Delator fires it in, and Delator gets the assist.
Quick thought right there, and Texas now only up 1 and 90 seconds.
Austin Corey. Austin Corey had 21 points going into this game, 10 goals, 11 assists. He's been their best offensive player all year long. Shows right there. 7:07 remain in the second period. And Auburn, you see some life in them now.
Down 1, Texas doesn't have to play a man down anymore.
Auburn showing some excitement here. Trying to check DeAngelis. Unsuccessful.
DeAngelis has been huge on the face-offs, only losing a couple. Nice check there.
Larumbide gets around the defenders. Timeout for Texas. They're trying to settle things after giving up 4 goals and only scoring 1 in the second period.
Yeah, they kind of got to settle down. Haven't had the ball for very long at all this quarter. Auburn really dominating possession time. And for Auburn, they've been moving a lot quicker on the offensive possessions that they do have, and they've been having a lot of those. Meanwhile, Texas having a couple of face-off penalties as well in this quarter, and of course the 2-minute one that we saw earlier that contributed to Auburn's goal to get it back to within 1.
We also haven't seen John King or Andrew Brown up top trying to set up some possessions like they were earlier. Like when we saw them have the goal in this period, it was just one pass set up from the top. Texas hasn't really had a possession where they can do that. It seems like the ball is always on the other side of the court now.
Oh yeah, and then that one goal that Kenyon Bowl did have was just kind of set up by just a defensive malfunction, if you will. And so other than that, they haven't really got anything going this quarter. And so they obviously now with the ball, it's a good timeout. Get back, figure things out, see if they can go up at least by 2. Get something going, at least more on the offensive end. Auburn allowing about 8-9 goals per game. So far this game doing not as well in the first quarter, but they were able to settle down. Have held Texas here to a couple goals.
Had to wonder going into this game how motivated Auburn would be, and you see that they are definitely motivated right now.
Oh, absolutely. That last goal just absolutely fired them up over here on the sideline. And Texas looking a little demoralized after having a bigger lead. They were by 4 at one point. Now only by 1. It's anyone's game.
4-1. Texas finally going to try to make something happen here. They have King at the top.
King back to Bowl. See how that relationship works out.
King to fellow midfielder Brandon Metry. Metry looking for a juke right here. Trying to get around. Unsuccessful as they bring another man for a double team.
Yeah, Texas earlier in the game were moving straight to the net. Now they're kind of moving a little more around it. Haven't really gone behind the net much still this quarter, though.
Auburn's showing more physicality on attacking and trying to check better. Bull nearly gets checked.
Oh, Bull with a nice drive, but a good tip. Came off of one of the Tigers' bodies there.
That ball flew all the way out to San Antonio on that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think someone's dorm windows knocked out.
King at the top, trying to set something up again. Only 11 seconds left on the shot clock, and it goes out of bounds. Texas will retain with just 8 seconds. You have to have your quickest play right here.
Yeah, Auburn's got to go for...
Out of bounds again. Texas is going to have 2 seconds.
2 left, and they're behind the goal.
You just throw it in and tip it in. That's what they do. Shot clock violation. The new rules just affecting... Second time we've seen that happen tonight.
Yeah, good defense from Auburn there. You saw Texas in the first quarter shooting really early, being really aggressive, getting in the goal, but now having to make those 12th, 13th passes that we haven't seen.
Auburn's fired up with the opportunity to tie it right here.
And with 5 minutes left, you know Texas doesn't want to have this game go into halftime with them being down or even tied with the way that this game has been playing in the first quarter.
Barber unable to communicate with his guy on the pass, but Auburn gets it back, and ball's in disarray right now, but it looks like the Tigers will retain.
Yeah, Auburn's been winning a pretty good majority of the 50-50s. We'll see how those affect the course of the game if that becomes a factor, especially if this one's close.
Stone Bridges with 2 goals, passes it off, but the shot is unsuccessful. Texas trying to win the foot race in the corner, and they do.
Stick broke over there. Good presence of mind by the referee to throw it out of the playing field.
Auburn has it again, but Barber's shot misses and goes behind the net. 4:31 left in the period. Auburn will still have possession and the opportunity to tie the game after trailing by as many as 4 points. Timeout on the field right now.
Yeah, the Tigers are going to look at this one. Crucial possession here, just under 5 minutes. 20 seconds left. They can get probably one shot off. One good, clean possession. especially in that possession, can probably determine whether or not this is a tie game. Great timeout there from Auburn.
You have to give a lot of credit to J.J. Arminio and how he's coached this Auburn team so far back from this deficit. Has 59 wins and 11 losses and a pretty successful career. He came from Georgia Tech where he was really successful there. 17-2 twice, got 16-1 sandwich in between from 2015 to 2017. Now he's in Auburn, really working his magic there, still undefeated on the season.
Well, you look at his conference record, 20-2 in his career. It's an out-of-conference game. It's not the SEC we're dealing with when you're talking about Texas, but still a great resume when you look at him.
Mm-hmm. And Auburn so far has had a lot of games at their place in the South. They had LSU, East Carolina, and South Florida. And now they're having a tour across Texas as they play Texas and then TCU next, and then go to Vanderbilt. This will be 3 straight road games for Auburn, which is going to be a huge test for this team, and to see how they work after all this travel, playing in unfamiliar sites with opposing fan bases there.
These are also out-of-conference games that you're seeing. After that, they go back home and take on the SEC slate, Missouri, A&M, Tennessee. You don't get another out-of-conference game until March 24th with Kennesaw State. And so Auburn with a nice out-of-conference test here against another formidable team in Texas.
In terms of Texas, they go and play their hated rival Texas A&M at Penn Berthy Fields in College Station on Sunday at 2 p.m. following up this game.
Well, then they have an Oklahoma a week after that. So a good... Oh, wow.
Looks like Stone Bridges gets the hat trick and the game-tying goal. Bridges fired up, and the bench mob is feeling it right now.
Auburn's feeling that comeback, and who better to cap it off than Stone Bridges? A hat trick already, and we're not even at the half. Great performance tonight from Mr. Bridges as he tips his cap to his fellow teammates.
7-7. Auburn coaches like what they see. They're coaching tonight in cowboy hats. They're really feeling the Texas vibe right now.
They're really adopting the culture. You could see Bridges' teammates were impressed coming off the field. One of them said, "Who is this kid?" And Bridges looking to sub back in as Auburn pushes it into the front field.
That was a good spin move there right after the face-off by Kyle Cena.
Oh yeah! Auburn now with a chance to take the lead before the half. If you're watching this one in the first quarter, that would be unheard of.
Let's go, Faye. Let's go, Bryce. Just one.
7-7 looks like a normal second quarter score for an Auburn football game.
Oh, absolutely. Little SEC lacrosse out here tonight.
Texas setting up the offense right now. They get it to Quattro Santos, who we haven't seen too much of tonight. And in for Texas, checks in number 11, Connor Bailey, the senior midfielder out of Highland Park in Dallas. Easiest goal there you'll see tonight. What a pass from Wickersham to Nick McCall. Nick McCall answers. Texas will not trail, leads Auburn 8-7. Still haven't given up the lead tonight.
Yeah, number 49, Quattro Santos in there, kind of playing the role that we've typically seen out of John King. Provided a little spark there to get Texas back on top.
Santos, the local prospect from Westlake High School in Austin, he's just a sophomore.
Huge face-off here. Auburn definitely doesn't want to go back down 2 after that huge run they had to tie it back up. Let's see if that goal right there breathes some new life into this Texas offense.
Cameron Martinez, we're seeing more of Texas's depth now as Martinez runs the offense there, but Auburn claims the ball right back. Trying to sweep it, and it's going to go out of bounds in favor of Texas. Home fans like it. Good attendance for a lacrosse game tonight. I'd say the bleachers are about 70% full.
Oh, absolutely. You look across, there's a lot of burnt orange, but there's also a lot of, not burnt orange, Auburn orange out there.
Go, Sam. Let's go, D. One on. Hey, Cole's hot! Cole's hot! Let's go, D!
John King trying to get around the defender.
Yeah, Bryce!
That defender's Bryce Bennick, who's a 5'8 midfielder from Huntsville, Alabama.
Get in here, boys. Come on, Coleman. Let's go.
Well, right there, John King felt all 5'8 of Bryce Bennett because he was all over him. Great defense there.
Come on, boys.
Nice drive work there from Delator. Auburn loving to go behind the net right there. They go there once again.
Cerna,
Let's go, Blue!
his net up's trying to be ready for the oncoming shot. Reagan
Come on, Coleman!
trying to slide past net
Yeah, and
tree
if
for
you're
Texas.
Cerna, you're definitely feeling those guys right behind you. Just adds that psychological element of just having to make sure you know where those guys are. You have to watch your six. You have to watch the entire 360 degrees.
Auburn's calling for an umbrella play right now.
They're running the set. See if they can make it rain.
Go, Blue!
Shot is unsuccessful, much to Texas fans' delight. There's 1 minute and 17 seconds left in the second quarter before halftime. Texas trying to hold on to its narrow 1-point lead. Auburn's shot falls short, and Cerna chases after it behind the net.
That was Mike Bush, took a hard foul as we're going back to umbrella for the Tigers.
Umbrella is something we've seen often from them in situations like this so far this game.
And ball goes out of bounds. Texas will take it over. They can have the final position if they want.
Let's get a stop!
1 minute left in the games. Audience cheering, cop car sirens in the background. It's a crazy night in Austin, Texas. Gotta love those Friday nights.
You gotta love a Friday night at Clark Field, especially with some lacrosse mixed in.
Let's go, D!
Austin's one of those cities you have to think like Los Angeles in the NBA, where you kind of get that advantage just because a city has so much to do at night, and there's a lot of great nightlife there, and there are some distractions around the city of Austin, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. I think Austin, when you say Austin's the LA of lacrosse, I don't think you're too far off there as we get a timeout here.
42.6 on the clock before halftime.
One last chance for Texas to dial something up, being up one here. You don't want to let Auburn have another chance to maybe tie this thing before halftime. Texas with a chance to extend the lead to 2.
The teams ran their last-minute offense a little quick last period. We saw a lot of back and forth in the last minute, teams trying to frantically get off a shot. None were really good looks or successful either.
Yeah, we'll see. Auburn had the opportunity to run it down last quarter, chose not to. Texas came back pretty aggressively, nearly had a goal. So we'll see how much, or if that even affects the play call here from Texas. Probably not. You still want to be aggressive. Don't want to pass up a good opportunity if it's there. But you do have to be mindful of not giving Auburn a chance to at least run a set, maybe run it down in under 20 seconds at least, maybe to 10. Make sure Auburn has to, if they throw up any shot, that they have to have it be under massive duress.
You see the teams putting their best players in as there's only a couple seconds left, and you just have to get your best guys out for this goal right here. Auburn on their attackers, they have Trey Wood, Mike Bush, and Austin Corey, 3 of their best scorers.
Yeah, and you're not sitting John King here.
Texas will have the ball. John King in, Andrew Bull on the outsides. Right now it'll be Andrew Wickersham who inbounds it. Quick whistle.
And they're resetting the clock to 42. They're going to add the crucial 2.4 seconds to this one.
A lot can happen in 2.4 seconds.
A lot can. Excellent call from the ref, making sure that clock is right. And the score technician will hit us up, and we're ready to go.
Now Wickersham will check it in. Actually, it's not Wickersham anymore. That's Nick McCall.
You got to watch McCall if you're Auburn. Phenom with 9 goals. as you said earlier, 3 entire hat tricks in that first game against North Texas. Bowl looking to set something up.
There had to be tuxedos and tuxedo hats flying onto the field. That one, all sorts of hats. Texas, the shot clock's dead. They're trying to get something to happen. Andrew Brown gets it back to John King. King trying to make a move. Gets around.
Got to go now.
There's no time left. And it goes to halftime. Texas doesn't even get an attempt off.
Wow. King's got to be more aware of the clock there, and Texas goes to the half, at least with the lead.
Sometimes you just want an opportunity and not necessarily a good opportunity, especially in a situation like that. You go into the half with a 1-goal lead with 0 attempt.
And we're going to send it over for the halftime show. After the break, Clark Dalton and Thomas Fitch will have your halftime recap of what you just saw.
Guess we'll get into it. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable. Park knows.
All right, let me explain why Aaron Judge is getting it. You can boo me all you want.
I knew Texas was going to win, and then one of the Texas team was going to lose.
Cammy. I don't like the Cammy.
Wait, you don't like this?
This is all chaos.
Roll tape.
No!
Oh, hello! For those of you who don't know.
Oh, God! Stop!
Look at it!
No! No!
I like beer.
What? My ass! It's so bad!
I'm gonna wreck it!
No!
Wow!
No!
Hey, Bozo! Whoa!
Put Yzma in a llama's body. Oh no!
Wrong level!
Yeah. Will Phil be making an appearance, one of the key characters? And if Phil makes an
best
appearance,
parent.
then we know that there has to be Danny DeVito.
Ah, we're dancing!
What's happening? I don't know what to do.
This is so cute.
Check this out, and I pull out a gun and just shoot you like this.
Good morning, Texas. Good Morning Texas is the only morning show on campus. It is the best way to start your Wednesday mornings because we're always having fun. And you never know what to expect.
I'm gonna need Miss Littlefield to show up and start fighting me.
Let's meet the amazing people that make it all happen.
I'm Kayla Peterman.
I'm Daniela Villegas. I'm Hannah Sauer.
I'm Cameron Trout.
I'm Abigail Redondo. I'm Lizzie Smith. I'm Isabel Miller.
And I'm Raymond Boteo.
And we wish you a wonderful Wednesday.
We welcome you to our TSTV Sports halftime show here at the Kevin Clark Field in Austin, Texas, where the Texas Longhorns lacrosse team leads the Auburn Tigers 8-7. I'm your host, Thomas Fitch, joined alongside Clark Dalton, and as we mentioned, Texas leads 8-7. Goals, led by Andrew Brown, Andrew Bull, and Nick McCall. 2 goals for the Longhorns on the Auburn Tiger side. Austin Corey had 2, and Stone Bridges already a hat trick, 3 goals in the first half. But looking at everything, what surprised you the most?
What surprised me the most was how fast Texas came out of the gate. I wasn't expecting them to attack so early, but they did that and helped them garner the edge versus Auburn.
Yeah, and you talk about them coming out of the gates fast. They go up 5-2 after the first quarter, but then Auburn storms back, ties it up 7-7. Texas gets 1 more goal. So how can Texas carry the momentum from that late goal into the second half of this game?
What Texas needs to do to carry the momentum is keep up their passing. Once again, it's like we talked about in pregame. They weren't relying solely on one player. They had multiple players score goals. So they need to get everyone involved and keep playing with that cohesiveness. On Auburn's side, what helped them get back in the game was the fact that they won faceoffs. When Auburn won the faceoffs, they easily got shots on goal. And when they get those shots on goal, that gives them the momentum they need to get back in this game.
Yeah, a lot of action in this game. 9 different players scoring goals, but just who on each team really stood out to you?
Well, for Texas, it was Andrew Brown. He came out very aggressive. He scored 3 goals in the first half, and he was taking, these were tough goals too. He was guarded, but he was able to get those shots off easily. And for Auburn, it was Stone Bridges. We did not expect that in the pregame. He's just a sophomore, and one of Auburn's tenets was their youth. And we were talking, and Coach Armino talked about how that's one of the things, and the youth is actually playing a leadership role.
Yeah, we even heard the Auburn guys on the bench went after the 3rd goal saying, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah,
well,
who is
he's
this
Stone
guy?
Bridges, and he's got a hat trick. The game started off pretty fast and has since kind of slowed down. Do you expect in the second half to see that slow pace, or do you think the teams are going to try to speed it up a little bit?
I think it's going to be similar to the first half, where the pace is kind of on a pendulum, where the 3rd quarter, since they get a little bit of a break, some time to catch their breath, it'll be fast again. But once you get in the 4th quarter, it's going to slow down, and those last-second opportunities become all the more important.
Yeah, and looking forward to the last 30 minutes of play here. What would you say are the keys for each team in trying to get the win in this close game?
The key for Auburn is to take good shots. They had a lot of shots on goals, but they didn't convert. And if they converted it on those shots, they could be up by more now. But if you get easier shots, then you can grab the lead. And for Texas, it's to get the edge back on faceoffs. They had that in the first quarter, they lost it in the second quarter, and that's the reason why Auburn was able to claw back.
Yeah, and real quick, who are your players to watch for as we move to the second half?
Andrew Brown and Stone Bridges are my players to watch for in the second half.
Yeah, Stonebridge, Andrew Brown. I mean, we talk about the Andrews. We had 3 different Andrews scoring 5 goals for the Texas Longhorns in the first half. The game currently 8-7. I know your prediction was 9-8. I assume you're going to want to change that at least a little bit.
I'm definitely going to want to change that. I'm going to go 15-14, possibly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to slow down a little bit, but we're still going to see that high scoring.
High scoring, yeah. So what can each team do defensively to kind of slow down the other team?
Defensively, Auburn is a lot more physical than Texas is, and they don't, when Texas gets pushed a little bit, they don't handle that as well because they're not as big up front. And for Texas, what they need to do defensively is get up in the face of the Auburn players to the point where they can't see the goal. And Michael Cerna, when he's playing well, he's one of the keys for Texas defensively. He really drives their defensive performance.
Yeah, well, thanks, Clark. That's all we have here for the halftime show. The Longhorns lead the Auburn Tigers 8-7 at the break. Still 30 more minutes of action coming back. We'll be sending it over to Steve Helwick and Robert Trevino on the call, but that's all we have here. I'm Thomas Fitch. Clark Dalton, we'll see you after the game.
Good evening and welcome in to College Crossfire. I'm your host, Mark Skoll Jr. Glad to have you on your Wednesday. And Mark Skoll can piss off the cannon. I don't like the cannon. Wait, you don't like the cannon?
All right, let me explain why Aaron Judge is getting it. You can boo me all you want.
Arne just lost his point, tried to get points from the crowd, but they're not the one giving points.
Listen here, brother, 9 p.m. Wednesday nights, I'm coming for you.
I can't find anything to watch.
Do you watch entertainment news?
Do you like roundtable discussions and fun hosts?
Do you keep up with the latest trends?
Well, we've got a show for you, mister. It's the exclusive on TSTV.
Keep us in lead. We're on Austin Lake. Second cruise from Capitol Cruise. Today we're at Kira Revolving Sushi Bar. Let's go eat some delicious sushi.
TSTV.
Indiana, he's no
What's that stand for?
Texas student.
Oh, Texas
Student.
Surreal. No.
Student.
Student TV.
Yes.
Welcome back to Clark Field in Austin, Texas, the state's capital. There are 40 seconds left until we start action in the third quarter as the Texas Longhorns lead the Auburn Tigers 8-7.
The excitement's palpable out here. You know all these guys want to get back to it. Halftime felt too long. Close game. Auburn being more physical in that second quarter, really dominating that period. And Texas trying to find what they were doing in the first quarter again as we get the face-off coming up here in a few seconds.
It was a 5-2 advantage in the second quarter by the Tigers. Texas got that goal to break the 7-7 tie at the end, and that was a key goal going into the third quarter. Once again, coaching adjustments. This time they had 10 minutes to lash out at the players, tell them what to do for this period.
Of course, right here, and for Texas, you got to win more ground balls. Auburn was really dominating the floor on those 50-50 ones. For Auburn, you got to win more of these face-offs. DeAngelis has been dominant tonight.
And the ball drops. Who else? But Christian DeAngelis takes it. DeAngelis gets it to Meadows to start this possession. Meadows to Brown.
You see they're bringing in John King again. See if they get it to him to start the possession. And they do.
Meadows and Larumbide check out. Brandon Metry scavenging the field. Gets around the defender. Doesn't proceed. Instead, Texas scores.
King with the beautiful pass there. He saw Andrew Bull cutting, and Bull's going to open up the second half for the Longhorns with a nice goal right there.
Andrew Bull, a second goal, 9-7. The Longhorns lead by 2 again, extending their lead. That's 2 unanswered goals dating back to the end of the second period for the Longhorns.
Well, you know, King likes to look out for his fellow midfielder, Bull, and they both right there combined to give Texas the 2-score advantage.
I think you have to give a lot of credit to the freshman from Illinois, Brandon Metry there. He's one of the midfielders. He had the ball a lot on that possession, setting that play up for the Longhorns. DeAngelis boxes Auburn out. And the Longhorns will retain possession after that faceoff. Longhorns are winning the faceoff battle this quarter, and it is showing on the scoreboard so far.
Who else but King and Bull coming right back into the game?
Got to go with your star players to extend the lead. Andrew Bull drops the pass, manages to pick it back up before Calamity strikes. Bull back to Metry.
Yeah, what you were saying on that last possession, Metry with the good eye outside. He's going to look for something and set it up.
Crosses over from left to right. Continues cradling it. John King now to Andrew Brown. All the offensive stars out for Texas.
And if you're Auburn, this is looking a lot like the first quarter. Texas dominating the possession and just playing more physically, winning the faceoffs and holding the ball for long amounts of time.
We're under halfway on the shot clock. Only 30 seconds left. Texas still doesn't have a good option as Metry's trying to look to get rid of it. He's getting pursued right there.
Well, this is a good change up from that first minute. Auburn hassling Texas on the defense, even made him go behind the net.
Good defense by number 8 Cole Scott for Auburn on this possession.
And under 10 to shoot.
Auburn ball. Texas couldn't get anything off in 74 seconds. Micah Kane still in the net for the Tigers. Auburn bringing it up the field. Gets in the hands of Ryan Kars. Good juke from behind the net.
Ooh, some tough checks from King there.
Lots of scrum around the net, but Auburn's going to come back up with it. Gets it back to Kars, but there is a miscue. The pass is a little low, bounces out of bounds, and Texas will retain possession. 12:21 left in the third quarter. Texas already with a 1-0 advantage in this frame.
Well, that was two stories of the night in one play right there. First, Auburn dominating with the ground ball, which they've been doing all night, picking it up, but then also turning it over immediately afterwards, something they've had trouble with. It's cost them a couple of goals in this one.
Andrew Bull avoids the checks of the Auburn defenders, who now just lurk at midfield and watch.
Bull's going to come out here.
Texas in a 1. Looks like a 1-2-2-1 right there. One guy behind the net.
Yeah, that's a 1-2-2-1. They didn't really move a lot behind the net last half. Maybe they're thinking of doing that as the offensive scheme for this one.
Andrew Wickersham finally gives it up. Texas gets behind the net. And it'll be unsuccessful, but they will retain possession with 23 seconds left to shoot.
Well, that's an aggressive shot from Nick McCall, number 15 for Texas, and boy, does he play really aggressively. That's how you score 9 goals in one game. Missed opportunity there.
Bad pass by the Longhorns. The Auburn defenders waiting at midfield for it, trying not to cross. Look.
With a little bit of a kick there.
Yeah, Tyler Fahey put out his foot for the kick, but there's a shot clock violation. And now it's Auburn ball.
Micah Kane getting a little creative there with the catch, and he bounces it outside.
Overthrow there by Auburn. Texas's Ryan Thompson from South Lake Carroll High School is going to claim that one. Texas trying to pass midfield. Auburn being aggressive. He drops a stick.
Auburn with that nice aggressive play right there. This is looking a lot like that second quarter when they started to dominate the physicality.
I mean, anytime you check someone, clean check, and they lose a stick, that's one heck of a hit right there.
Oh yeah, his hand's going to feel that one tomorrow.
Lloyd Delator at the top.
Good setup there.
Gets it back. Delator waiting for the sub. Ryan Cars takes it.
Cars and Delator going to try some of their own magic here.
Referees give a warning to the Auburn bench to stay off the field. Can't help but get excited in this one. Oh! Ooh. Drops pass, and Texas delivers with a check, but there is a penalty, and that will go in favor of the Tigers. Looks like Ryan Thompson hit him a little too hard from the back after the drop pass.
That's the second penalty of the night. Let's see if this goes down as a 30 or a 2. It'll be a 30 extra man for Auburn.
They failed to capitalize on this opportunity in the first period with 30 extra seconds, but another chance right here, and they're only down 2.
Definitely crucial for them to get this one going.
22 seconds left on the penalty.
Much lower scoring quarter here. Both teams making good defensive adjustments, becoming more comfortable with each other.
Auburn doesn't have much time left, under 10. And good shot by Delator, but it is stopped by Mike Cerna.
Repossessed.
Delator gets it back, but the penalty is dead. Texas goes back to equal strength. Denny Ortega, the face-off specialist, sprints back onto the field, and the Longhorns get the ball. Huge stop for the Longhorns there. Maintain a 2-score lead.
An overthrow.
Turn it right back over, though.
There's another ground ball pickup for Auburn there. They've been dominating those tonight. Must have been a key point of emphasis at halftime. So far, the adjustment has not been working.
Let's go.
Delator back up top. Passes it to Barber, Logan Barber. Illinois native, 6'3", one of the taller players on the team.
Auburn, a lot of their goals are coming off a transition. Let's see if they can't get some more goals off the setup whenever Texas is set on defense.
Goes out of bounds. Auburn will retain possession with 38 left on the clock.
That's a great speedy shot there from number 44, Luke Milliman. He's got to keep taking those. Can't let one miss or two get in your head. Here he goes again.
Milliman bounces it, flies over the net.
Well, and that one didn't have a chance. Really came off late, chucked it right into the dirt.
Austin Corey gets it to the top. Coleman Reagan draws a double team, gets out of it. Lloyd Delator passes his defender, but flings it, doesn't get the angle there. Needed to get that a little more inside.
Hey, D.
Went too far across his body. Good save right there by Mike Cerna. Texas bench is hyped.
A great hard stand there lasted the length of about 2 or 3 normal shot clocks. So a great morale booster for Texas, but they turn it right over again.
That's the one thing that stopped the scoring in this period is we've seen a lot of incomplete passes. Low throws, high throws. Seems like the passing has really lacked this period while the defensive has stepped up.
You're right, a lot of sloppy play out there, and we see it again, another turnover. Texas is going to take it right here.
Longhorns trying to get near the crease. One of the new rules is you can dive across the crease.
Not that time, Auburn's going to get it right back. Here, they're pushing.
Good pickup right there by Stone Bridges. Had an excellent first half. Austin Corey at the top. Plenty of time.
Going back to Stone Bridges right there. You got to have it in his hands. Was so hot in the first half. Haven't heard much of him this one.
Cradles it around. Fires, doesn't get the angle.
Well, we almost hear for him right there. That was a nice tip right there by Cerna.
It's not the easiest area on the floor to score from. Tough angle, near lateral to the net. Auburn takes over once again. Logan Barber. Barber gives it up. Texas playing man defense right here. And you see a good pursue right there by Brandon Metry. Auburn scores! Aiden Stopperich, the freshman midfielder, comes up huge, and Auburn is back within one, playing catch-up, their first goal since they tied it up at 7-7.
Well, that was a nice play by Stopperich there. He took the check, bounced it outside, and then was able to turn his body and get that great angle that allowed him to sneak that one past Mike Cerna. That's a great play from the freshman from Pennsylvania. And Auburn, once again, within one goal.
Stopperich didn't have any goals in his previous 3 games, but he's already made quite the impact tonight. Yeah, finally getting on the stat sheet and the scoreboard, and you can only see his confidence rise from here.
Of course, came off the field, teammates dapping him up for that first goal of the year. As King comes back in.
5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Every possession just seems so crucial right now as the clock is ticking down. Andrew Bull has it on the right side.
Especially when you get under 5 minutes, this is when you start to define the quarter.
What a shot!
What a shot from Bull right there.
Nifty move, kind of sidearms it in off the cradle. And it's 10-8, the Longhorns lead. What a quick response by Andrew Bull.
Well, you see that sidearm, you might have thought he was the NFL MVP, Patrick Mahomes right there with a nice little spin move and dished it right in there.
Well, I'll tell you one thing he can be MVP, and that's tonight's game because that is his 3rd goal so far of the night.
A hat trick from him.
Correction, that is actually his 4th goal of the night, so that's even more than a hat trick for Andrew Bull. He's had quite a game last.
That's 1 1/3 of a hat right there. And he's going to come right back in here.
He's actually a grad student from New York. So he has a little more experience than the rest of his roster for the Longhorns.
Yeah, you look at him and King, they've been instrumental tonight. You know they're instrumental in the locker room, big team leaders. As King dishes it off the Bull right there.
See if we can get another goal by Bull. Going for his 5th tonight. King at the top of the key. Gets past the Auburn defender, but the defender catches up. High bounce. Bull catches it off the bounce. Fires it back in. Hard shot.
Nice
What a
save.
stop. That's one of the best saves we've seen tonight by Micah Kane, but Auburn turns it right back over. Turnovers have been deadly for the Tigers this period. Auburn's coach is encouraging the defenders to be more aggressive. We see Bryce Bennett guarding right here.
Oh, great checks. Really forcing them off the line, but
another goal for Texas? No goal. The goal is called off by the referee.
That's no goal. He deemed him to have been inside the circle when he shot. And now Auburn's going to take it right back over. You could feel the emotions shift here on the Auburn bench from being down potentially by 3 to now chance to take it to within 1.
Coleman Reagan to Lloyd Delator. Delator passing in a circle.
Sam!
Trying to find the opening around the net. Trey Wood lurks outside the crease, but Auburn scores anyway.
A great
Delator
shot.
just fires it in.
Well, Delator had enough watching from the midfield. He came right up there. What an aggressive shot. And Auburn's back to within 1 with 2.5 minutes to go.
Clear look, no one really in front of the net, and when you fire it with that speed, that's something that is hard to stop. Mike Cerno's unable to stop it right there. Auburn is already back within 1. Just seems like a game of back and forth. It's all about, can Auburn get consecutive goals here?
Absolutely, and we're seeing this become a lot more of an individual matchup. You just saw him right there for Auburn. For Texas, you have Andrew Bull kind of going one-on-one. Another scrum here.
Good box out on that face-off by Texas's number 46, Greg Estrella.
Texas finally able to get a ground ball, something it seemed that they hadn't been able to do all game. And the specialist, DeAngelis, will come off.
Quattro Santos checks in for the Longhorns. He helped set up one of the goals earlier in the game.
They like to go for him when King's not in there as the point guard-esque type of player.
Oh, really high pass. I'm not sure where that one was supposed to be going, but it does go out of bounds.
Yeah, that one looked like it came off really weirdly, and Auburn celebrates as it's going to be their ball. Texas with some quick subs.
Auburn has 1 minute and 44 seconds to operate. Looking for the game-tying goal as we head into the 4th period.
Ideally right here you want to chill out, let a little bit of the time run off and get something going as you set it up, and that's precisely what they're going to do right here.
Delator sets up the offense again. Can't help but think if he's going to attempt one of those other goals again that he had last time. They're those fiery ones from far out.
And an emphatic flag from the referee.
Delayed penalty. See when it's enforced. Only a minute, 7 seconds left in the quarter.
Harsh defense there.
Stoppage with under 1 minute to go. Still have 15 minutes after this. stick swap here.
Little stick swap gone awry right there. Little disagreement going on here between the coach and the referee about number 42's conduct that earned him the penalty. And now Auburn is going to get an essentially free play right here with 54.5 left.
High tensions building between the Texas coaching staff and the referee right there.
Absolutely, and 42 will be coming back in the third quarter, so you got to look at point of emphasis here, making sure things don't get too chippy out there.
Let's go,
And Auburn's not moving with a lot of pace. 10 seconds left
Quick
in the extra
passes.
man.
It's like just a practice drill right now. And it pays off.
With that extra man opportunity right there, they have the opportunity to make those quick passes. They got one man ahead in like in basketball when you're trying to make the quick switch. Texas couldn't switch in time, and they inevitably got that open shot, and they tie it up with 28 seconds left, and Auburn, the sideline for the Tigers, is absolutely going wild right now.
That was the senior attacker, Mike Bush. Bush entered the game third on the team in scoring with 9 points in his first 3 games, 8 goals. One of the best scorers in his conference, and it's showing right there. Auburn needed that goal. We are tied at 10 apiece with 27.5 left to go.
Yeah, and that technical is ending up costing Texas right there.
Oh, what a turnover.
Auburn with another chance here before the quarter's
Auburn
over.
has good advantage, good passing on the fast break, and it's good. That's the assist of the night.
What a great conversion there for Auburn at the end of a quarter. And if you're Texas, what a lapse on the defensive end. You can't have that. You know the coach is not happy. Auburn's fired up. That's great. Perfect, actually, execution. 4 or 5 passes right in the back of the net. You can't do it any better than that.
The steal, the pass, just everything about that goal was perfection. That was some 2014 San Antonio Spurs looking lacrosse right there.
Oh, absolutely. Efficiency.
Beautiful passes, and Auburn has their first lead of the night as the third quarter is officially over. The Auburn Tigers have come back and taken this game despite trailing by as much as 4. Auburn 11, Texas 10, heading into the fourth quarter.
And that's incredible if you're Auburn right there. First, you get the penalty on number 42 for Texas. He gets into some words with the ref right here and ends up costing his team a goal as Auburn had the extra man. They were able to execute. Execute was definitely the emphasis for the third quarter. They couldn't get it going early on in the third quarter. It was looking a lot like a copycat of that first quarter. But Auburn, they were able to clear their heads, figure it out, and we're definitely able to capitalize. You got to believe that that last goal, with only 20 seconds left, definitely is firing this team up. And for Texas, they got to come back from that.
Frustrations were clearly high for the Longhorns at the end of the quarter, and that's something you can't play with going into the fourth. You have to forget the past and just make adjustments based on the mistakes you previously made.
Yeah, and for Texas, Tiernan Schindel, number 42, was the one with that penalty. He's the freshman, homegrown from Austin, Texas. If you're a freshman, you can't lose your head like that. You saw one of the assistant coaches come up to him and say, man, you can't be saying stuff to the ref. Even if you disagree with the call, even if you feel like the ref gave you the penalty harshly, you still can't cost your team a goal like that, and that's actually what ended up happening there. And Auburn, of course, rode that wave, and now they have their first lead of the night.
Auburn's fired up 3 consecutive goals for the Tigers.
Yeah, and if you looked at this game with about 7 minutes left, it's 10-8. It's been a really sloppy quarter. Auburn's still looking like they couldn't find anything, and then all of a sudden in the last few minutes they found that life. That life has given them a 1-goal lead here.
Both teams have given up their most number of goals they have all season in the double digits territory, but these are clearly 2 quality teams so far, which is what's going to happen when 2 undefeateds clash in non-conference play.
Well, of course, if you had the under tonight, I'm sorry to say, I don't think you're cashing out. Texas with another win right there.
Nice little scoop pass there. John King, good spin move, gets ahead of his defender, backs off a little, gets it to Andrew Brown. Brown venturing into territory behind the net.
You can see in the man-to-man right there, Auburn's definitely still watching 27 Andrew Bull for the Longhorns. They're still keeping an eye on him, kind of playing a little half-double.
Turnover there after Brandon Metry tries to pass it and goes into the Tigers' hands.
He's going to keep doing that.
Right now with the ball for Auburn is number 35, Bryce Bennick. That's someone who we've seen make a huge impact on the defensive end all night, guarding some of Texas's offensive stars as he checks out of the game.
Of course, defensive enforcer gets the ball and then subs out and gets ready for the next defensive possession.
Coleman Reagan possesses it behind the net, 45 to shoot, still plenty of time. Looks for the wraparound, and it's good. Auburn has a 2-score lead. That is 4 straight goals. Is Coleman Reagan the captain, proving his status on the team with that wraparound right there from behind the net. Gets it in left-handed.
That's huge right there. You've seen a lot of excellent things happen for the Tigers tonight, but to have your captain score such a definitive goal with just under 14 minutes left in the last quarter, and now to go up 2, take more of your own kind of commanding lead, and now you're putting all that pressure that you might have felt in the first, second, third quarter, you're putting that firmly on the Longhorns right now, and there's not any noise coming from the Longhorn bench.
Coleman Reagan, the senior from Massachusetts, he had 1 goal in the LSU game to open the season, adds another one tonight.
Auburn, another ground victory right there. Stone Bridges back in the game for Auburn.
Bridges catches it right there. Auburn was getting attacked and pushed into the corner. Aiden Stopperich, he had a goal earlier. Gets in. Oh, Stone Bridges. His attempt just flies just a little left of the post. Good shot there by Auburn, unable to get a 3-goal lead.
Just left of the cross or of the bar right there.
If you're Texas, what are you looking to do now, trailing 2 in unfamiliar territory that you really haven't been in with this team, this program this season?
Well, of course, they had that 21-8 win over North Texas. Never really sweat like this. You really got to push it. You got to go back to your fundamentals, what was working on earlier. You still have over 12 minutes. You can't panic. Get to your stars. That's exactly what they're doing right here. Making the right substitutions, trusting that what got you here can get you back in this one. I don't know.
John King dumps it off the top of the key to Connor Bailey. Bailey goes to the spin move. He does that often. Andrew Bull can't get an angle, so he goes behind the net. Wasn't an opportunity, a little slip right there. But Texas scores!
Texas right there, getting right back where they need to be. They get it into their stars. Let them run the offense and figure it out right there. Now they're down 1. This one's turning into a real heater of a game right now. Go either way.
It's just a pivotal 2-point swing after Stone Bridges' shot narrowly falls left and Texas scores just about a minute later. Now 12-11, 12 minutes left in the game. Texas wins this face-off, they're in good shape. They just have to keep the ball in Auburn territory, and that's will pay off for them.
You can kind of feel a little bit of the tension in the air here. I mean, the Auburn sideline is playing a little looser, playing a little freer. Definitely a lot louder than the Texas sideline right now. I think Texas was a little nervous being down 2 goals. They're kind of right back into things, just down 1, but definitely Auburn with a lot of the momentum right now on their sideline.
Let's go, Bryce.
It's Nick McCall delivering with a check right there for Texas. McCall, the team's leading scorer, is actually playing some defense right now. One of the 3 defensemen out. Andrew Brown's there too.
Go, Blue.
Delator to Reagan. Reagan just had a goal. Gets it behind the net, but pass falls a little short.
Oh, and that's going to be on Texas.
There's some action near the crease right now, and Auburn's going to keep possession with another 80 to go. 11-11 with 11 points for the Longhorns. Auburn's wish right here would be to score a goal.
Mike Stone to do that.
Help him! Gotta be blue! Gotta be blue!
Texas forces a turnover. Nice
Good
play.
pickup.
Okay, Cole!
Larumbade misfires, gets in the hands of Micah Kane, and Micah Kane.
That's a costly turnover right there if you're number 50 for Texas. Moving into transition, you kind of want to get something set up. Instead, you give it right back to the Tigers.
And Ben Elwich delivers it across the court to Luke Milliman.
Stonebridge is back in for Auburn.
Delator to Bridges. Bridges looking for a shot. His eyes are fixed on the net, but he passes it behind. Bridges trying to shift in front of the crease and get a pass, but he's covered pretty well. But he does get it back.
Look up, Stone! Look up!
Oh, he loses it. Just fumbles it out of the net, and the ball goes out of bounds, nearly hits one of our cameras.
Watch the equipment there, but Stone had that shot right there. If he could have just corralled it in. In fact, he thought that he still had it, didn't notice until he attempted the shot, and it wasn't there.
Reminds me of that moment when Dan Orlovsky didn't realize he was out of the end zone.
Oh, yeah. I think everyone
Got that
else in the
safety.
stadium knew that he was out of the end zone. And when the whistle came, I was really shocked.
The ball was just slipped out, and Auburn didn't notice right away. But they still have the ball, and they attempt a wraparound, but it's unsuccessful right there. And Texas gets the ball back. Far pass from Cerna.
Texas is looking to push if they want to get back into this one and tie it up. That's what they're going to have to do.
The shot was there by Cuatro Santos, but stopped short of the net. A little low of an attempt.
Yeah, we've been seeing Santos, the sophomore out of Westlake, right here in Austin, taking more of a leadership role.
Oh! Simultaneous flags fly up in the air.
That's a game stopper right there.
Stone Bridges is checked by Jack Hamowitz.
Especially to have such a leader of the team for Auburn get lit up by that like that. Not something you want to see.
Hamowitz's teammates congratulate him in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Now that's a hit. The legality of it, not sure, but that is definitely a hit.
That was brutal. Maybe outside of the rules of the game, but man, that was brutal.
Let's go, let's capitalize here. Come on,
This were professional. We might hear from the league office on that one tomorrow.
Maybe. Maybe a fine instituted. Don't know.
Auburn takes over once again with Luke Milliman commanding the offense.
I mean, nice hit from Hamowitz, but Auburn's still playing with an extra man for a minute, albeit they don't have Stone out there. Stonebridge is still probably reeling from that one.
Auburn's best offense has been with Delator at the top of the key, just distributing it around, trying to find the best shot.
Yeah, and you can see Hamowitz right here itching to get back in.
A trip is called on Texas as a knock.
23 more seconds for Auburn's extra man.
To knock Mike Bush into the crease, and Texas is once again a call against the Longhorns, and they're not benefiting from the officiating tonight.
No, but at the same time, they've been playing way more aggressively.
2 seconds left on the penalty, and Auburn doesn't get the shot till after.
Oh, and immediately after the penalty ends, another one will ensue. That'll be Ryan Thompson in the box. Another one, and another one. For some talking going on from the Auburn players. He's trying to dispute it, not going to get the benefit. And Thompson heads to the box for the third time tonight. Attempts to break a stick, is not successful. And we'll see from the refs here in a second.
Lots of yellow laundry on the field as Auburn scoops up the flag. with the stick.
And there's some absolutely emphatic flag throwing from the refs. It's maybe something football refs need to look at. It really aggressive. And that's Luke Nolan, in the penalty area for Auburn.
Looks like we'll have even strength going forward. Still 7:55 left in the contest. The teams are only separated by 1 goal, both looking to preserve undefeated records heading into tough schedules coming up.
I mean, you're looking to preserve that undefeated record, but this is also a grudge match. You don't want to lose to these guys in the other end. And after months of debate, we're going to get the call. The goal will be good for Auburn. So Auburn's going to play extra man for 30 seconds after Milliman serves 30 seconds. Thompson will be in there for a minute for Texas. And Auburn up by 2.
Very complicated play in the game, but it does favor the Tigers even if they have the long penalty. Andrew Bull to behind the net.
Right back to King Bull action right here for Texas.
King tries to sweep it low.
And after all those penalties, Texas down 2 again with 7.5 left. So they do have to get something started soon.
5 seconds left on the penalties.
And Auburn extra man now for 30 seconds. But they don't have the ball.
Andrew Bull, team's getting desperate to score down 2 here. Andrew Brown doesn't quite get it in.
We'll see if they push in these last. They're still scrum.
Huge get for Auburn right here. Texas, you have to play extra aggressive on defense, trying to check the butt end of the stick.
Team's full strength now.
Texas is being just aggressive in those checks right now.
Absolutely. They forced that ground ball, but another theme for the night, Auburn winning ground balls.
We do have an injury on the Auburn side, and that's the captain, Jack Speshak.
Hey, give me a water.
Still 13-11 with 6:24 left in the period. Auburn has possession at the moment. Coleman Reagan ventures behind the net, still 27 seconds left on that shot clock. With these 80-second shot clocks, if you're Auburn, you have to make the most of them because there's only a few 80-second shot clocks remaining in this game.
Absolutely. If you're Texas, you do have to make sure you get all of these stops. You can't allow really any goals at this point now. With the way Auburn's taking the time.
Stone Bridges. With 3 seconds left, Auburn makes good use of the clock.
And I don't like that decision to go behind the net with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. You have no chance of getting a good shot off there.
If you have good defense, like Auburn has in this period, then you're in good shape, even with the shot clock violation. Still with a 2-goal lead, 5:39 to go.
Well, Texas not happy with this call going on right here.
Texas trying to establish an offense. There are now 320 seconds remaining in the period, which means we have 4 full 80-second shot clocks.
Some good math right there for Steve. Scrum.
Lots of disarray. Guys on the ground. No one can get the ball, and Texas is going to take advantage. They have numbers 3-on-1, and they don't capitalize. Referees calling offsides against the Longhorns.
Well, Auburn was screaming for it. Ref told him, relax. I got it. Offsides now. Bobby Lynch right there for Texas was in the right place, right time to finish up that scrum and get a ground ball for Texas. Oh, and a turnover.
Excellent check right there by McCall, but
That's McCall, the attacker, playing some defense right there.
Auburn was trying to get a timeout before that check, but they were unable to. Now Texas has the ball with 4.5 minutes to go. Metri at the top. Texas better score quick, and they do! Brandon Metri on the assist. It's Tiernan Schindel.
Tiernan Schindel with the goal and then the little air guitar action celebration, and Texas within one with just over 4 minutes left to go in this one.
Gotta love those celebrations, just showing the guys having fun and their passion out here.
Absolutely. Texas now just down one. This is a huge, huge game right here. You can feel the crowd just getting louder and more tense by the minute.
Another key face-off here for Christian DeAngelis. He's been successful on them tonight. Texas just has to avoid getting a penalty after one. But Auburn looks like they're going to win this one, and they do.
Texas has been dominant all day on those.
Trey Robinson takes over for the Tigers.
A little injury update from Auburn. Captain Jack Speshak is back up and standing as Auburn calls a timeout.
Auburn was looking for that timeout right before the Texas goal, but that turnover forced at midfield by Nick McCall really changed things over, and then Texas was able to score on that possession and really change the outlook of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it looks like there's another injury out there. Trey Robinson's having a little trouble getting up. It looks like he's able to walk off his own power. That's good for Auburn. We'll see if Captain Speshak for Auburn can get back in there. Senior from Ballston Spa, New York, been playing a big role as a leader tonight. Came off a little earlier, a little hobbled.
It's approaching crunch time. Now we have to see who has the clutch gene on either team.
Oh yeah, and now there's 240 seconds, if my math is right. That's 380 seconds. So I'm coming back at you with a little math of my own as we go deeper into this timeout. We got.
I think it's safe to say that the scoring isn't done for the night, and we'll definitely see at least one, maybe two, even more goals left with the team, with the rate these teams have been scoring tonight.
Oh yeah, well we talked about how the rate and how that usually doesn't always add up. Well, that's the case tonight. This team started off really hot, but as the course of the game has gone on, both of these teams' defenses have clamped down, have become much more aggressive, become a lot more tested, and we've seen that in the amount of penalties that have been called out here tonight. The coaches that have been hollering, faces getting red, intensity building, and now we get to see it all culminate in these last 380 seconds right here.
Tigers will take over possession.
The Tigers are playing aggressively here. It doesn't matter that you're up in the game. Your plan is that you're down 5 right here.
These are the moments you play for. This is why you join college lacrosse right here. Doesn't get much more exciting than this.
It doesn't get much more exciting than collegiate sports.
Let's see it out!
Some lacrosse action here at Clark Field on a Friday night. Stands are packed. 4 minutes to go.
Let's go home!
Let's do this. Auburn with the ball.
Let's go!
Tigers exhibiting patience on the possession. I won't expect that shot to go with more than 40 seconds left on the clock.
Absolutely not. You're still playing aggressive, but you're still mindful of that clock.
Coleman Reagan from the top. Reagan goes lateral to the net, and they continue to stall some time off the clock.
You feel that tension like you're doing in a movie when that music's building right here. You know something big's coming. The game's going to alter in these next 30 seconds.
Now just 25 to shoot, and Auburn gets a shot off.
Was it tipped?
That ball's going to go to Texas.
Texas has a chance right here.
Let's go, boys!
Game tying goal, and who else but John King checks in for the Longhorns, and King makes a jumping catch to start this possession.
Bull here waiting in the wings.
Auburn nearly swipes around and checks him from behind, but King avoids it by tucking in a stick. Under 3 minutes to go. Longhorns passing pretty fast. Connor Bailey has it. Now Andrew Bull, team's most prolific scorer of the night. I think you're trying to set up a play for Andrew Bull. You need to get him open right here. But instead, Bailey gets it to King. King to 50. Great check right there.
Huge defensive possession right there, and you got to keep it up. You got to keep it up. Nice stop, but you can't let your guard down right here.
Texas still has the ball after Bull's attempt, which was well defended by Auburn. Now King crosses over to the left hand, tries to score down low, but it is stopped by Micah Kane.
You got to have a stronger shot right there. That had really no speed. Kane was able to stop that one without much trouble. As we get under 2 minutes here, Auburn's going to use all 80 if they can.
2-minute drill. You have to think Texas might only have one more good possession in this one, and you absolutely cannot have a score if you want to preserve your undefeated record.
Auburn can take this down to 42 seconds if they want to. And I think they will, giving Texas just about half of a normal possession.
Auburn's defenders, they have 2 back, one a little farther back than usual.
One score could ice this one here.
32 seconds to shoot, still 1 minute and 14 left on the clock. Texas trying to corner them. But Austin Corey.
And a timeout by Auburn.
Smart timeout right there. Austin Corey didn't really have anywhere to go. 59 seconds left, and it was a good possession by Auburn because they stalled the time. There's only 16 seconds left on the clock and 59 left in the game.
That was a nice timeout. Would have liked to see that maybe a few seconds earlier. 16 seconds, you got time enough for a little bit of a quick play, but if you call that timeout at 20-25, you should really, in essence, run a full set and try to ice this one. You do want to be mindful, though, that if you don't score here, and it's likely that you're not going to just because of the nature of the game, you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't want Texas to get a quick goal in transition. You want to make sure you're at full strength on defense. Really make them earn that game-tying goal.
That means having the midfielders play a little less close to the net than they usually do.
And that'll probably result in Auburn not having usually as great of a chance here, especially with Texas now forced to clamp down on defense.
59 seconds ago, both teams in the huddle right now. Texas has to do everything in their power to make a defensive stop to even have a chance.
That's one of those timeouts for both of these teams. They're kind of just doing that to stop the clock. All these guys are ready to get back out there.
Auburn gets the ball back, and then the shot clock will go back to 80 for the Tigers, and the Tigers can just try to play keep away for the rest of this one.
Absolutely. Texas probably only has one great chance. But first they got to get a stop here. And then you're looking at someone like Mike King.
It'll be like Lacrosse of the old days if Auburn gets it back with no shot clock at all.
Absolutely.
The time is coming. Austin Corey will take it over from the corner. Same place he was when the timeout was called. Corey, the leading scorer, entered the game with 21 points, 7 per game. Gets around the defender behind the net, only 10 to shoot.
Smart, Corey.
He's looking to wrap around. Unable to. Texas gets the ball, and they're running fast.
Oh, they're ready to run.
It's do or die time with Matthew Meadows has the ball. Cradling.
Gotta find a good shot soon.
35 seconds left, and the ref blows the whistle.
Timeout.
Texas elects to call a timeout. You have to get your after timeout play to be your best one you have in your bag. This is your first time all season playing in crunch time in a close game.
Oh yeah, you're pulling out a Philly special right here. You're pulling out the Philly special of Lacrosse. If you're Texas, you're down 1, you got the ball. This will likely be your last chance. everything's going to ride on these next few seconds right here.
It's not even guaranteed you'll have one shot opportunity, but that's what you have to play for is one shot, because the second one's never a guarantee, and if so, it won't be as good of a look.
Absolutely, and right here at your Texas, you really want to look at your attackers. You want to look at the guys that have been producing for you all day. You're looking at John King, you're looking at Andrew Bull. Every one of them. You can see him dialing up the play right now. And we'll see the result of that coming up in the next few moments.
Seth Bachmeyer calling a play in the huddle. He's 25-18 in his career as a Texas Longhorn. First came on to coaching in 2016. Texas wasn't as successful then, went 5-9 in his first year. Then improved to 12-3, and he looks like he might be on the upswing right now, really rebuilding this program.
Yeah, after that 12-3 year, they went back down to 7-6. So you know that these players right now have gone to the highest of highs, and they've also been kind of in the middle. So you know they're inspired, especially these seniors. Like John King, most especially, you're going to see the ball in his hands for sure, standing right now at the top, at the edge of the midfield.
We have King at the top. I have Nick McCall in there, the team's leading scorer this year. Among others, Connor Bailey in for the Longhorns.
And we're in.
Andrew Brown passes it in to Andrew Bull. Bull gets the opportunity off the rebound as it ricochets right back to him.
It ricocheted up, he tried to grab and throw in the same jump.
Texas has less than 20 seconds. McCall has to make something. 10 seconds left to go. Passes it back out. King slips. Auburn reaps the benefits, and Auburn is going to win the lacrosse game. The comeback is complete as the Tigers storm onto the field in celebration. Auburn moves to 4-0 on the season, beating the Longhorns 13-12 in an absolute thriller that went down to the very last play.
Your heart breaks if you're John King there. You had that opportunity in the last 8 seconds, I know, but also you still had the ball in your net with a chance to make a run at it. You saw Andrew Bull with 2 attempts on the goal, couldn't get anything going. That's just good defense from Auburn, and they hold on. 13-12, that's absolutely huge for them to come on the road, start their little Texas series, start their non-conference road series with a massive win.
And to finish the game on an 11-6 run after trailing 6-2 early on, it just shows the perseverance and resilience of the team. And we'll have more to talk about with Thomas Fitch and Clark Dalton in the booth.
Good evening and welcome in the College Crossfire. I'm your host, Mark Skoll Jr. Glad to have you on your Wednesday. And Mark Skoll can piss off the cami. I don't like the cami.
Wait, you don't like the cami? All right, let me explain why Aaron Judge is getting it. You can boo me all you want.
Arne just lost his point, tried to get points from the crowd, but they're not the one giving points.
Listen here, brother, 9 p.m. Wednesday nights, I'm coming for you.
We're sons of an illustrious father, and this is Austin Underground.
Uh-huh.
What is Boom in the Shot?
It's a show.
It's a lot of hard work.
A boom in the shot is where
It's
this
a
person
show.
called a boom operator, and they are incompetent.
We only
It's a
have
show.
like 6 people working on the show, so what's the deal with that? Like, if you're out there, we need people to help volunteer.
I can't breathe.
Hold on.
It's a show.
You're a fan of this show.
Hold everything, knaves! Hey, buddy, how's it going?
You're not my dad!
We can't keep losing PAs. The ones that dig themselves out quit.
All of the best writing happens in the bathroom.
ketchup and mustard gas didn't hurt this much.
What even is this?
It's down to film, douche.
Right, well, it sucks.
Hi, I'm Guillermo and I'm watching TSTV. Don't forget to watch TSTV. Yeah!
Welcome into our TSTV Sports post-game report here at the Kevin Clark Field in Austin, Texas, where the Auburn Tigers defeat the Texas Longhorns 13-12. And tell you what, a thrilling game came down to the wire. Texas had a couple last-second shots fall just shy of the victory. It was the goal by Lloyd Delatorre for Auburn, the go-ahead there for the Tigers. So, Clark, what went right for Auburn and what went wrong for Texas?
What went wrong for Texas was the penalties. That really got them behind because it took some of their defenders out, and that gave Auburn some opportunities, and that's what allowed Auburn to get back in the game. And what went right for Auburn was when things got a little bit chippy between Auburn and Texas. The game became a little bit more brutal. Auburn came together as a team and truly played with the chemistry that allowed them to come away with the victory.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting into a lot of stuff, breaking down this whole game. And by the way, I am your host, Thomas Fitch, with Clark Dalton. We'll get some interviews with the coaches in a little bit, so make sure you're sticking around. We'll have some good post-game content. But let's get back into the analysis. What made the difference in this game for Auburn?
What made the difference for this game for Auburn was the fact that they started to convert on some of those goals, and their late game management was slightly better than Texas, because you saw with that last play was Texas got a little bit disorganized at the end with Nick McCall holding it for a little bit too long, while Auburn, they kept running their offense and they stayed together and they had crisp passing, which merits allowed for those opportunities on goal, and it allowed them to score, and the perseverance and resilience showed for this Auburn team.
Yeah, absolutely. And who would you say in this game kind of stood out as the player of the game for the Tigers?
For the Tigers, I would probably Lloyd Delatorre.
Yeah.
Even though Stone Bridges had the strong first half, Lloyd had some clutch shots at the end with those 2 goals and the leading goal that really gave the confidence that Auburn could win this road game against Texas. And for Texas, it has to be Andrew Brohl. He had 4 games at the end, and even though he missed the last goal, he fought till the bitter end and he got a shot off. So he deserves the utmost credit for his effort tonight.
Yeah, let's talk about discipline, because for Texas, felt like it was certainly lacking in the second half. There was plenty of frustration on the sideline, plenty of yelling from both the players and the coaches. Just what kind of impact did that have in this game?
You want to play with a chip on your shoulder, but you definitely don't want to let it go too far. I think that was one of the reasons Texas started to struggle a little bit, was they started to lose focus and they started to play with rage rather than clarity. And it muddled their offense, and defensively they got focused on trying to assert their will against Auburn, and that led to some unnecessary roughness penalties, which was costly and took out some of their best defenders.
Yeah, it also felt like Texas kind of looked tired down the stretch. Do you think that fatigue also had a big impact in the game?
Absolutely. I think fatigue played a huge role. Auburn looked much more energetic in the second half, and Texas started to slow it down. I think starting out fast may have actually been detrimental towards Texas rather than a benefit, because they had less energy going in the second half because they floored it immediately rather than saving it for later in the game.
Yeah, and you look at Texas did have the lead at half. Auburn comes back, outscores Texas by 2 in the second half. And it really felt like it was kind of about 5-10 minutes into the second half, into the third quarter, where kind of Auburn started to gain that momentum. But we'll get to a question in just a second. But right now we have Bailey Wald standing by with Auburn coach J.J. Adriano.
Here with Auburn's head coach. Congrats on the win, coach. So you're now on a 4-0 streak. How are you able to make this comeback during the game?
Total team effort. I was telling the guys, this shows the resilience that we've got in this team. Even though we're young, the boys never gave up. They fought for each other. And this team last year, going down 5-1, 5-2 like that, probably would have crumbled, and it wouldn't have been a game. So I'm proud of them. This gives us a lot of momentum moving into tomorrow and the rest of the season.
And we saw a lot of great plays from a lot of different players. So who would you pick as a few of your MVPs from this game?
God. Micah at goal, number 14, he worked hard. He let in some goals that he probably shouldn't have let in, but he kept his head, and my whole defense, they played their tails off. And then 23, we mentioned Lloyd Delator at the beginning of the game, and, the kid stuck in there. He's starting to find his shot a little bit, and he stuck in there, took a high, hard one, and finished the ultimate game winner. So.
Congrats on the win. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Thomas and Clark.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully we'll be talking with Coach Seth Bachmeyer in just a second, but let's keep going with the analysis. Right before we send it over to Bailey, we were talking about how Auburn really changed their momentum around the 5-10 minute mark, 5-10 minutes into the third quarter. So what was it that did that for the Tigers?
I think it was the motivation for the Tigers, this being a game on the road, wanting to prove themselves as one of the elite teams in college lacrosse right now. And they realized, hey, we're going to have to take it right to Texas and attack if we want to win this game. And I think it was just that little bit of extra competitiveness that pushed the Tigers over the edge.
Yeah, and when we look forward to the rest of Texas's schedule, obviously just second game of the season, they're now 1-1 on the season. They got A&M up next. That's coming on Sunday. What do they need to do looking forward to that game in order to improve and try to get a win?
Well, they played well for most of the games, but the turning point was when they had the penalties. So if you're Texas, you need to focus on being disciplined. You still want to play with that passion. That's a good thing. I did like that from Ryan Thompson. He does have good passion, and he is a good defender, but it's just a matter of managing it to the point where it isn't destructive.
Yeah, well, that is spot on as usual, Clark. And we got a lot more coming up after the break. We got interviews, more analysis, so stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome in the College Press Box, the most comprehensive sports show on the 40 acres.
The 2018 Orange-White Spring Game revealed key players in the offense.
If she plays really well, Texas really has a great shot.
They need to go deep in these games and really prove themselves.
The women added a trophy to their shelf, winning the title with 117 points.
If Cleveland goes quarterback at 1, which I agree with Sean, I think they do. I think the Giants are crazy if they do not draft Saquon Barkley.
All this and more on College Press Box.
Have you ever wondered what the future holds?
Hi, I'm fake news anchor and real-life boat anchor, Austin Zessen.
You need to know the news before anyone else.
I've survived 3 plane crashes.
Do you know how to keep your wife and children safe?
We're back with more bad news for Speedway, as next week the replacement bricks will be found to be capable of feeling pain.
Do you like news that hits hard? Like my dad?
Hello and welcome to Next Week Now.
Hi, I'm Edward, and this is Jimmy Kimmel. And Jimmy Kimmel, do you love Texas Student Television?
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Texas Student Television?
Bad people don't like Texas Student Television. So
Hitler probably was against Texas Student Television.
Yeah, he had many bad ideas, and one of them was not liking Texas Student TV. So should people watch Texas Student TV?
Yes, people should watch. People should watch a lot of television in general, but particularly Texas Student.
And also Jimmy Kimmel.
Thanks.
Welcome back into our TSTV Sports post-game report here at Clark Field in Austin, Texas, where the Auburn Tigers just defeated the Texas Longhorns 13-12. Again, I'm your host, Thomas Fitch, alongside Clark Dalton. We should have some good interviews coming up with hopefully Coach Seth Bachmeyer in a little bit and some of the players from the Texas team. But Clark, before we get to that, how does this win help Auburn as far as them gaining momentum to the rest of the season? What does it prove for them?
I think it gives Auburn a sense of confidence in the fact that they know they're an elite team and they're much better than they were last year, and they truly have a shot at the playoffs because they were 6-6 last season, but now they started off the season 4-0, and they have that momentum, and they can continue to build upon it.
Yeah, and also for Texas, also early in the season. But does this loss hurt them, or can they use it as motivation going forward?
I think they can actually use it as motivation going forward because it's kind of a gauge of where Texas is right now, and they know what they need to do in order to improve and continue a playoff push.
Yeah, and we talked about some players who were the stars of the game, but who would you say were kind of disappointments or what we weren't expecting to see?
I don't want to say anyone's a disappointment. I was surprised that Nick McCall didn't score as much as we thought he would, but I think that was just a compliment to Auburn's strategy defensively.
Yeah, and you talk about the strategy defensively. Obviously not every team is going to be as strong defensive going forward in the season. So do you expect Nick McCall to be able to rebound and come back in the future?
Absolutely. He's only a sophomore. So that shows you what his ceiling is right now when he can score 9 goals in a game. And he still had 2 tonight. So McCall, he's just going to get stronger and stronger, and that'll help him play better against opponents like Auburn who come out and try to push you around a little bit.
Yeah, and right now we are going to go ahead and send it down to Bailey Wald, standing by with Texas head coach Seth Blockmeyer.
I'm Bailey Wald here with Texas head coach. So you started off really strong this game. What do you think went wrong in the middle of the game?
We quit playing that style. Something we put in recently and something we're trying to get the guys to do, but it's a learning process. And something we talked about in the game is we can't let teams take us out of that. We gotta force the action. We gotta continue to do it. And like I told them, the proof is there. We scored a lot of goals doing that. We played really well. So it's a learning process. We'll be just fine.
And you're still really early on in the season, so what improvements are you going to make for the rest of your games coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to work defense a little bit. We again are.
Thanks, Bailey. Good coverage as usual. As we wrap it up tonight, Clark, it is a disappointing loss for the Horns. It's a close loss, a game that they probably feel like they could have won. But what can they look for moving forward as far as encouragement for the rest of the season?
Well, it's not the worst loss ever. It would be different if Texas came out and they were blown out, because that would be a bad sign that they're not ready. But this game shows that they're ready to compete on an elite level. It's just a matter of execution and kind of tying some of those loose ends we saw in the game that caused the reason for this loss tonight.
Yeah, great responses and answers all night, Clark.
Thank you.
That is all we have. Thanks for tuning in, listening, and enjoying the game, which really was a fantastic game all night long. Anyways, from here at Clark Field in Austin, Texas, I'm Thomas Fitch. That's Clark Dalton. Special thanks to everybody else who's been on camera and master control. Have a good night.